my name is Talia Romero, and today I will be discussing about Arizona's approach to English learner instruction. So first of all, who are English learners and what does Arizona do to support them? According to the Arizona Department of Education, English learners or limited English proficient students are children who do not speak English or whose native language is not English, and who are not currently able to perform ordinary classroom work in English. Therefore, state and federal laws are set in place to support all English learners by providing special services that ensure that they receive the appropriate language and academic support for their academic and lifelong success. When looking at the demographics and home language composition of English learners in Arizona, we can see how diverse the population is, as we have a vast amount of students from various linguistic backgrounds. As of 2023, in the state of Arizona, there are a total of 103,318 English learners enrolled in schools pre-K through 12th grade, with Spanish being the most common home language, followed by Arabic, Swahili, Navajo, and Vietnamese. With such a vast diversity of students, Arizona uses a teaching approach that ensures the growth of all English language learners. The Structured English Immersion, or SEI model, is a teaching approach that was designed to support English learners with English language acquisition while still providing academic content. The main difference between SEI and sheltered English instruction is that SEI models focus on the English language acquisition and are required to provide English learners with a minimum of 120 minutes or 2 hours of English language development per day for students in grades K through 5th, and 100 minutes per day for grades 6 through 12. Whereas sheltered English instruction integrates content and language learning with no emphasis on English proficiency and can be seen in a mainstream classroom or a classroom where non-English speaking students are grouped based on their English proficiency skills. So let's take a closer look at the Arizona's language development approach. According to the Arizona Department of Education, Arizona's language development approach is an explicit way in which English language learners are provided with instruction through the connection of language, literacy, and learning practices in all subject areas and instruction. This approach also serves as a communication tool on how practitioners are expected to design and enact language, literacy, and learning in all subject matters. Arizona's language development approach is based on 4 main principles, which states that all educators share the responsibility to promote the success of English language learners, as we can see in the model provided by the Arizona Department of Education. In Principle 1, Asset-Based Behaviors and Expectations, English learners bring rich linguistic resources and cultural knowledge to the classroom environment, and they use language as a tool for learning. In Principle 2, Integrated Instruction in Disciplinary Language and Content, all educators share the responsibility for designing instruction that integrates language and literacy development with content learning by using scaffolded support, academic language development, and collaborative discussions. In Principle 3, Targeted and Explicit Language Instruction, or English Language Development, known as ELD, English learners are provided with the opportunity to develop English language acquisition through explicit, systematic, and sustained instruction. Finally, in Principle 4, Assessment, Monitoring, and Feedback, regular assessment, monitoring, and feedback provide an opportunity for students and educators to set goals and learn to measure and evaluate the progress being made by students. The outer ring identifies the overarching goal of language and content instruction through implementation of the 4 principles, which will support the English learners' development of student agency. Student agency is the ability that English learners can take control of their own learning as they are provided with opportunities to develop confidence in their own skills and knowledge, a sense of self-efficiency, a sense of voice, and self-determination, as well as a belief in their own ability to achieve and be successful as they use content and language to meet their goals. We can see this when educators utilize the four principles of the Arizona language development approach and empower students to express their thoughts and opinions, help students feel capable and valued throughout their learning journey, and allow students to set their own goals while encouraging them to recognize the strengths and experiences they bring to the learning community, and much more. This can be done through a variety of approved research-based SEI models in Arizona. First, the pull-out model, where English learners are pulled out of class to receive ELD instruction based on their proficiency scores. Next, we have the 2-hour model, where students receive 2 hours of focused ELD instruction on a daily basis. Then we have the newcomer model, which is designed for students who are new to the U.S. and receive more hours of focused ELD instruction. Finally, we have the 50-50 dual language immersion model, which provides instruction in both the student's native language and English. It is important to note that the 50-50 dual language immersion model requires a bilingual parent waiver to be signed by parents or guardian. With these models, Arizona schools can meet the diverse needs of English language learners and provide them with an adequate program placement that meets their individual needs. So, what is the process used to determine the eligibility of being classified as an English learner? According to the Office of English Language Acquisition Services and the flowchart provided, the first step in identifying English learners is the Home Language Survey, which is completed upon initial enrollment and is used to determine what the student's primary language is. Upon identification of students whose home language is not English, the next step will be to take the Arizona English Language Proficiency Assessment or Arizona English Language Learner Assessment within 30 days from the start of school or 2 weeks from the day they enroll. This assessment will provide us with the following step, which is appropriate program placement. Appropriate program placement is based on the proficiency scores and requires parental consent. Once the student is in the program and has completed the school year, they will take the annual reassessment, which will determine if the students will continue to receive services. According to the Arizona Department of Education, the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment is a standards-based assessment that meets both state and federal requirements and is utilized to measure students' English language proficiency. The purpose behind the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment is to utilize the results for tracking, monitoring, and providing feedback to students who are eligible for English learner services. If a student is deemed eligible, the scores will determine the student's proper placement for the best instructional support and will be reassessed on an annual basis until they reclassify. There are standard accommodations available to English learner students taking the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment, which include testing conditions, extra time, changing the test format, provided with word bank, verbal or recorded instructions in both English and native language, simplified instructions, repeated instructions, and the use of bilingual dictionaries. Although students may be eligible, parents and guardians have certain rights regarding English learner services, such as the right to accept or deny services. The schools in Arizona will provide parents and guardians with the parent notification and consent form, which gives parents the option to accept, deny, or withdraw from English learner services. Parents also have the right to be informed of the assessment results as well as to be provided with the information in regards to the program placement options available to their children. These rights ensure that parents are informed of their children's educational needs and allows them to make informed decisions about involvement in English learner programs. That will conclude my presentation to Arizona's approach to English learner instruction. Thank you for watching.